Okay, let's dive right in. Imagine, just for a second, that your biggest secret, the one thing that defines who you really are behind the scenes, gets blasted out. To everyone, all at once.
Yeah, not just a few enemies finding out, but the entire world, instantly.
Exactly. Because that's precisely where we're starting today. We're dropping you straight into this moment of just absolute public chaos and personal nightmare for a certain friendly neighborhood hero.
And what's really striking right from the get-go is how fast things flip. From being this, well, mostly beloved hero to public enemy number one. And it's all orchestrated, isn't it? Manipulated info, a media blitz.
Oh, completely orchestrated. We're talking about that dramatic reveal, Mysterio's doctored footage being re-released by the dailybugle.net. And it's not just, hey, this is Spider-Man. It's an outright frame job murder.
Yeah, delivered with that signature J. Jonah Jameson style. Sensationalist, loud.
Gravelly. He paints Peter Parker as a 17-year-old high school delinquent harboring a homicidal hunger. I mean, the language alone.
It's designed to provoke maximum outrage.
And the visual. Peter's school photo just plastered on this giant screen in Madison Square Garden, right above Spider-Man himself, half mask, looking totally bewildered. It's brutal. It's a public trial by media, basically branding him a vile vigilante villain.
And the source material really details how calculated this is.
Yeah.
You have Quentin Beck's words, totally twisted, right?
Yeah.
Accusing Spider-Man of wanting to be the next Iron Man, claiming he ordered drone strikes, execute them all, he supposedly said.
Yeah, using that advanced hologram tech to make it look real, it weaponizes lies, basically turning the public against him almost overnight.
It really is a masterclass in psychological warfare, making it incredibly hard for anyone watching to sort out the truth from this very convincing but utterly false evidence.
Absolutely. And Jameson just hammers it home, claiming conclusive proof that Spider-Man was responsible for the brutal murder of Mysterio. And he elevates Mysterio to this hero status.
Right, this interdimensional warrior who gave his life to protect our planet.
Yeah.
It's pure propaganda, just hammering the same message until people believe it.
And then the final blow, the big one. Spider-Man's real name is Peter Parker. Just like that. Can you imagine the shock, the sheer terror? Not just for Peter, but for MJ, Ned, Aunt May. Their entire world just implodes.
It's that instant, irreversible shift. He goes from this, maybe controversial but largely admired figure to being labeled a web-headed war criminal.
Yeah.
Any goodwill he built up, gone in an instant.
Yeah.
And this setup really establishes the core conflict for our deep dive today, doesn't it? It's not just about hero versus villain anymore. It's Peter fighting against this manufactured reality, a truth that, once out, threatens everything.
So today we are taking that deep dive. What happens when your biggest secret becomes the world's biggest headline? And how does one, let's face it, pretty desperate decision spiral into a crisis that rips across realities? We're going to unpack the consequences, the personal devastation, the public fallout, the multiversal chaos.
And the choices, right? The incredibly difficult choices Peter has to make under this immense pressure. Our mission here is really to analyze all those layers. We'll look at the legal stuff, the court of public opinion, which can be way harsher, honestly, and the extreme measures Peter and his friends take trying to get things back to normal.
And ultimately, how this whole ordeal just completely redefines what responsibility means for Peter Parker.
Forcing him to face not just these supervillains, but the very nature of who he is and what it means to be a hero when everyone knows your face.
Okay, so here's where it gets really intense, right after the reveal. His identity's out. Suddenly, everywhere he goes, boom, eyes on him, phones out, cameras flashing, people yelling questions, demanding TikToks. I mean, can you imagine that level of scrutiny? Instantly.
It's suffocating. And the source shows it immediately impacts everyone close to him. Peter, MJ, Ned.
Yeah.
They're just mobbed. MJ walking down the school hallway, kids shoving phones in her face.
Asking horrible questions like, are you Spider-Man's girlfriend? Or even, did you help him murder Mysterio? Just vicious, her privacy. Gone, poof.
And this really raises a key question about secret identities in today's world, doesn't it? This hyper-connected world we live in. The source gives that vivid example. Some random person tries to rip Peter's mask off in the street.
Yeah, and Peter instinctively swats their hand away. Not even hard, but immediately people are yelling, Spider-Man hit me!
And every single bit of that is being recorded. Every angle. Uploaded instantly.
Oh, for sure.
The public's judgment is immediate, it's harsh, and it's completely unnuanced. He goes from hero to villain based on a snapshot, a misinterpreted moment, amplified by everyone having a camera. Anonymity, especially for someone like him, It's basically impossible now.
The city itself becomes this nightmare landscape for him. He's swinging through New York, MJ clinging to him, and they're flying past these huge screens, jumbotrons, now blasting Public Enemy #1 over his own face.
With J. Jonah Jameson's voice just booming everywhere, declaring him public enemy #1.
Even Flash Thompson gets in on it, puts the picture on his TikTok. Like, come on, Flash. It just cements Peter's status as this total pariah.
There's no escape. That's the key thing. News channels, social media. The exposure is absolute. It's not just a threat to his ability to be Spider-Man. It completely destroys his personal life. He's a spectacle, hunted.
It's terrifying how fast public opinion can just turn like that in the digital age, isn't it? Especially when it's fueled by lies.
And the damage is almost immediate, and it seems impossible to undo.
And it's not just Peter, right? That's the other heartbreaking part. His inner circle, they're just collateral damage, pulled right into this mess.
Absolutely. The impact ripples outwards. MJ's dad, who kind of tolerated Peter before, now the source says he hates him. Imagine that dynamic, the tension for MJ.
Awful. And then there's Happy and Aunt May. Their casual relationship just sort of revealed and simultaneously ended amidst all the chaos. Peter, MJ, and Ned literally crash into Peter's bedroom.
And Happy's reaction is priceless, isn't it? I didn't see anything. Just pure panic, trying to distance himself from the scandal.
Yeah, classic Happy. But it really underscores how Peter's life, his secret, impacts everyone he loves. It raises huge questions about the personal sacrifice involved in being a hero.
It does. The chosen family is caught in the storm. And May's apartment building, usually their safe haven, now it's ground zero. News helicopters circling, crowds yelling Peter's name. It's a siege.
So they end up hiding out at Happy's place, which is described as this, like, nightmare of a bachelor pad.
Right. Knicks jerseys, neon lights,
Yeah.
even DUME, the robot, is there.
Yeah. It's such a contrast, isn't it? This kind of mundane, messy apartment becoming this temporary sanctuary for fugitives dealing with world-altering events.
It highlights the personal cost. And you see Peter's guilt growing. He knows this is happening because of him. He later says, I screwed up a spell trying to get you into college.
Mm-hmm.
He feels responsible for derailing their lives, too.
Yeah, that guilt is a huge driver for him later on.
Definitely. The erosion of their safety, their privacy.
Yeah.
It's a direct consequence of his identity being exposed. It's a heavy burden.
Okay, so let's shift to the more official channels, the courts. Both the legal system and maybe even more importantly, the court of public opinion. And the dailybugle.net is just relentless.
It's the engine driving the negative narrative. And it's fascinating how the source reveals Jameson's news desk. It's basically fake.
Right. A cheap digital backdrop in a cluttered conspiracy theorist's apartment. But does that matter to the public? Not really. The impact is still devastating.
And this really gets to that question. How do facts get lost in all the noise? The source shows just how easily someone can be torn down by a motivated narrative, regardless of the actual truth.
The headlines are insane. Spider Menace, wanted for murder. Trio of terror, Parker's cronies revealed.
And that one, Iron Man Jr. How did a reckless teenager become Tony Stark's heir apparent? That one's particularly nasty, playing on jealousy and resentment.
It's pure propaganda, guilt by association, fear-mongering, weaponizing his connection to Tony Stark.
It's incredibly effective at shaping perception.
And the images they use, they're brutal. Peter with devil horns drawn on, criminal, spray painted across his picture. Peter, MJ, and Ned photoshopped into mugshots.
Spider-Man as a crying baby in a diaper. It's designed to humiliate and dehumanize him.
Yeah, there's even footage of someone throwing green paint on him in the street, yelling, "Murderer, Mysterio forever," and the Bugle presents that as, like, legitimate news, public sentiment.
It's a relentless smear campaign. Visual manipulation, emotional appeals, constant repetition. It just pounds the narrative home until it feels true.
And in this media environment, the loudest, angriest voice often wins, right? Truth doesn't stand much of a chance.
Sadly, that's often the case. Perception becomes reality very quickly.
And then, as if that wasn't enough, the government steps in. The Department of Damage Control.
Right, the doo-doo DC. Adding this whole other layer of official pressure and, frankly, dread.
Yeah.
Agent Cleary leading the charge, serving a warrant.
And May tries to stand up to them, quotes the Fourth Amendment, unreasonable search and seizure.
But Cleary just brushes it off. Sure, let's go. That bureaucratic coldness is chilling.
It really is. And they start taking pictures of everything as evidence. Like a framed photo of Ned and MJ Tony Stark's glasses, the charger for the Iron Spider suit.
Mundane items suddenly become incriminating. It shows how easily personal things can be twisted in an investigation. It shifts the conflict from just Peter versus the public to Peter versus the system.
And navigating that system when you've been publicly branded a villain, almost impossible. Your privacy is just gone.
Yeah, completely eroded. The interrogation scenes really highlight their vulnerability, too.
Peter tries to name drop Nick Fury, hoping that'll help.
Only to be told Fury's been off-planet for a year. Dead end.
MJ is sharp, though. She knows her rights, pushes back a bit against Cleary's tactics. If I have nothing to hide, you can feel her trying to stay in control.
She's remarkably composed under that pressure. But Ned,
Hmm.
poor Ned, he kind of blurts things out.
Yeah. In his excitement, he proudly calls himself Spider-Man's guy in the chair, mentions helping find Vulture, getting to space, basically incriminating himself.
Accidentally, sure. But it shows how unprepared they are for this kind of interrogation.
And Cleary uses that, makes that veiled threat to May about child endangerment. That's low, putting pressure on his family.
It's psychological pressure, weaponizing their love for Peter against them. It demonstrates the weight of state power and how it can corner you.
Okay, but there's a small ray of legal light. Matt Murdock shows up. Peter had a lawyer.
A really good lawyer, as he demonstrates later.
Yeah. And Murdock tells Peter the good news first. None of the charges against you are going to stick. Huge relief, right? You can practically feel Peter exhale.
For a moment. But then comes the gut punch. Murdoch immediately follows up with, things will get much worse. There is still the court of public opinion.
And that's the real battleground, isn't it?
Often, yes. It highlights that crucial difference between being legally cleared and actually being accepted or forgiven by society. The public narrative can be much harder to fight.
Even if you're legally innocent, your reputation can be destroyed.
Exactly. And we also learn Happy is still under investigation for missing Stark tech. So the legal trouble isn't entirely gone, even for the wider circle.
And then we get that classic Murdoch moment. A brick comes crashing through the window.
Wrapped in newspaper, right, with, we believe Mysterio misspelled on it.
Yep. And Murdoch, blind as he is, just snatches it out of the air, perfectly timed.
Casually explaining, I'm a really good lawyer.
It's funny, but it also shows the reality, right? They're still under attack. The public hostility is real and physical. They have to move, find somewhere safer, which ends up being Happy's condo.
Driven from their home. It shows that even with legal help, the social consequences, the public hatred fueled by the media, are relentless and dangerous. That narrative persists.
So under all this insane pressure, this constant hounding, what do Peter, MJ, and Ned want? Just
Normal.
a fresh start.
Yeah, they pin their hopes on college. MIT. Moving to Boston together. Peter even thinks maybe he can still be Spider-Man there, maybe find some anonymity further away.
A fresh start. It sounds almost naive given everything, but you totally get why they crave it. And MJ, ever the pragmatist.
She expects disappointment, so she won't be disappointed. Guarding herself.
Smart girl. Because, of course, their hopes get crushed.
Utterly. This part really hits on that systemic prejudice, the ripple effect. The rejection letters arrive. All three of them. Denied.
And the reason is explicit. In light of recent controversy, we are unable to consider your application at this time.
Guilt by association. It's brutal. They did nothing wrong. But their connection to Peter, to Spider-Man, ruins their chances.
And just to rub salt in the wound, Flash Thompson is there, wearing his MIT sweatshirt, bragging about his book.
Flashpoint. One spider, two hearts, a million crazy-ass memories.
Oh, seriously, Flash. It's just this final, bitter confirmation that Peter's identity has poisoned their futures, too. The unfairness is just staggering.
And that weight, that realization that he's ruined his friend's dreams, that's what pushes Peter over the edge. He's out of conventional options.
Yeah.
Desperate.
So he turns to magic, heads to the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Which is weirdly covered in snow when he gets there.
Yeah.
Something about a portal to Siberia left open.
Yeah, apparently Wong's busy being Sorcerer Supreme now, a technicality, because Strange blipped.
Right. And Peter asks, Strange for the impossible, basically. Go back in time, make the reveal never happen.
Strange, understandably, is like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
He points out they already messed with space-time to buy everyone back from the blip. Doing it again just because Peter's life is messy. Too risky.
He understands the danger, the ethics. You don't just rewrite reality on a whim. There's immense responsibility with that kind of power.
But Peter pleads with him. Tells him it's not just about him, it's about his friends. Their futures are ruined.
And that desperation, that plea for his loved ones, that's what convinces Strange. Against his better judgment, arguably. Wong certainly warns against it. He mentions the runes of Kafkal.
Yeah, a standard spell of forgetting. But Wong calls it too dangerous. Says it travels the dark borders between known and unknown reality. Doesn't sound good.
Not at all. But Strange agrees to try it, and this is the critical turning point, isn't it? Peter's well-meaning, but incredibly naive attempt at a magical quick fix is what unleashes the multiverse.
Good intentions paving the road to, well, multiversal chaos.
Precisely. He just doesn't understand the forces he's asking Strange to mess with.
So Strange starts casting the spell. The goal, make the entire world forget Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Simple.
It should be. But Peter panics mid-spell.
Mid-cast, like you don't interrupt the sorcerer when he's messing with reality. He starts yelling exceptions. Wait, can MJ still know? And Ned. And Aunt May.
Happy too, right? He keeps adding people.
Yeah. Strange gets furious, says he changed the spell 6 times. Peter corrects him 5 times. Like, that makes it better.
As if the number matters at that point. It just shows how delicate this magic is. 1 golden ring of runes becomes 4.
Strange spells it out. You changed my spell, and that is why. It's falling apart because of Peter's interference.
And it's not just erasing memory anymore, is it? The spell is now actively pulling in the very knowledge it was supposed to erase, pulling in anyone from any universe who knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Because Peter kept trying to create exceptions, kept messing with the parameters.
His very human anxiety directly causes this cosmic-level disaster. That connection is key. It's the ultimate unintended consequence.
And boom, the multiverse cracks open.
Right. Peter gets shunted into this ancient chamber of the sanctum, the one filled with snow.
Yeah, with the apprentices shoveling snow into buckets, a little bit of weird humor before the storm hits.
And then he meets the first arrivals. A creature lunges the lizard, and then Doc Ock just storms in, furious, both trapped in magical cells, thankfully.
Ock immediately starts yelling, right? What have you done with my machine? The power of the sun in the palm of my hand, it's gone.
He's clearly confused, disoriented, and very angry. And Strange confirms it. The botched spell is pulling them all in, everyone who knows Peter is Spider-Man from every universe.
And that hits Peter. The multiverse is real. It's not just theory anymore.
It's a reality-shattering moment for him and for us watching. Suddenly, his identity problem is a cosmic crisis. Strange himself admits the multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little. They're in uncharted territory.
And there's that weird moment where Ock doesn't even recognize this Peter. He's looking for his own Spider-Man.
Adds a layer of irony to the danger, doesn't it?
So Strange, being Strange, immediately comes up with a plan. A very pragmatic, kind of ruthless plan.
Utilitarian, you could say. Capture them, bring them here, use this ancient relic, La Machina de Cadavers.
The box.
Right, the box. To reverse the spell, send them all back where they came from.
And his attitude is just cold. If they die, they die. It's their fate.
For Strange, the priority is protecting this reality, even if it means sending these individuals back to certain death in their own universes.
But Peter just can't accept that. He immediately pushes back. Some of these guys are going to die. He pleads with Strange, have a heart.
And this is the core moral conflict, isn't it? Strange's logic versus Peter's compassion. Even after everything he's been through, Peter won't abandon his instinct to help, even his enemies.
He feels responsible for them being here.
Exactly. It raises that ethical question. When does saving your own reality justify sacrificing others? Peter draws a different line than Strange does. His choice to defy Strange here is huge. It really defines his character arc.
So this disagreement leads to a fight. Not just arguing, but a full-on magical battle. Peter knows he has to stop Strange from just sending them back. He steals the box.
La Machina de Cadavers.
Yeah.
And Strange reacts instantly, knocks Peter's astral form right out of his body.
Which usually works, right? But Peter can still control his physical body somehow. Even Strange is surprised. How are you doing that?
It's unexpected. So they end up fighting in the mirror dimension, that replica of the city where they can go all out without hurting anyone in the real world.
And this is where Peter gets really clever. He has this realization.
The aha moment. He figures out the mirror dimension isn't just pure magic. It follows rules. Geometric rules.
The mirror dimension is just geometry. You're great at geometry. He basically uses math against magic.
Yeah, applying principles like squaring the radius, dividing by pies. He starts manipulating the dimension's architecture, trapping Strange in this shifting, impossible web. He sees the underlying equations.
It's brilliant. Peter, the science kid, outsmarting the Sorcerer Supreme using physics and geometry.
It shows his unique strength isn't just spider powers, it's his intellect. And then, to top it off, He nabs Strange's sling ring.
leaving Strange stranded in the Grand Canyon, apparently, for 12 hours.
Serves him right for trying to send those guys back to die, maybe?
Maybe. So now Peter's in charge, Strange is out of the picture, and the mission changes completely. It's not about containment anymore. It's about curing them.
Right. Peter, MJ, and Ned become this unlikely team, working out of the Sanctum's basement, the Undercroft.
Which is hilariously normal, right? Christmas decorations, camping gear. Strange lets them Scooby-Doo this whole mess down there.
Even Strange can appreciate a good team effort, apparently. And it shows how vital MJ and Ned are. Peter admits to them, I screwed up a spell trying to get you into college. Takes responsibility.
And MJ even uses her wit on Strange. I know a couple of magic words myself, starting with the word please. And it works.
It does. Politeness proves effective. Ned, meanwhile, is just excited by everything, mistaking a Pilates machine for a torture rack.
Classic Ned. But their loyalty, their practical help, it's exactly what Peter needs. They ground him.
They really do. It shows heroism isn't just about powers, it's about that support system, that trust.
But the real driving force behind Peter deciding to cure them, to take that huge moral risk, comes from Aunt May.
Absolutely. Norman Osborn, looking completely lost, wanders into her FEAST shelter.
Yeah.
He's not the goblin, he's just confused, seeking help. Says Oscorp doesn't exist, his son. He's not myself.
And May sees that. She sees the person underneath. She tells Peter he's lost in his mind.
And when Peter hesitates, thinking maybe it's not his problem, she gently pushes back. Not your problem. She reminds him of their core values. Look around you. This is what we do. We help people.
It's such a powerful moment. Her unwavering compassion, even facing these potentially dangerous people, she sees their suffering.
It embodies that idea of unconditional help, and it inspires Peter to go beyond just defeating villains. He wants to heal them. It's a profound ethical choice, rooted in May's example. Taking responsibility means trying to fix the damage, not just contain it.
So, fueled by May's belief, Peter gets to work in Happy's condo, which is now part refuge, part science lab. He uses the Stark Fabricator.
That portable, super advanced 3D printer thing he used on the jet before, powered by an arc reactor.
He figures he can use it to analyze, design, construct basically anything he needs for the cures.
And he starts with Doc Ock. He analyzes Ock's tech, figures out the inhibitor chip that controlled the arms was fried. That's why the arms took over his mind.
So he designs and prints a new chip, a cure, implants it.
And the change is immediate. Ock becomes himself again. Calm. Amazed by the quiet in his head. Those voices. I'd almost forgotten.
It works. It's this huge moment of validation for Peter. Proof that maybe these guys aren't just evil, maybe they're suffering, and maybe he can fix it.
It's applying science, applying knowledge for restoration. He gives real hope that maybe, just maybe, this crazy plan might work.
But just as things seem hopeful, it all goes wrong.
Horribly wrong. Electro's getting his cure. Sandman's talking about wanting to get home to his daughter. Norman's observing, even contributing intellectually.
I'm something of a scientist myself.
Right. But then Peter's spider sense goes off. Big time. He quickly webs Norman's hand to DUME.
Too late. The goblin is back. Norman's on sabbatical, honey. That's sneer.
Chilling. And he rejects the whole idea of a cure. These are not curses. They're gifts. He embraces the power, the darkness.
And Electro sees this, sees the chaos, the power surge from the arc reactor powering the fabricator, and he makes a choice. Rips off his cure device, absorbs the reactor.
And becomes this being of pure energy, way more powerful than before.
So much for the cures working on everyone.
Exactly. This is the tragic turning point. It proves May's idealism, Peter's hope, has limits. Some curses aren't just physical, they're choices. Goblin chooses malice. Electro chooses power.
It raises that hard question. Can everyone actually be saved? Maybe some problems don't have a scientific fix.
And just to make things worse, Jameson gets tipped off about their location by someone presumably goblin, and damage control's on the way. The pressure cooker is about to explode.
And it does, leading to the most heartbreaking moment. May tries to escape with the cures as the fight erupts. Goblin is just brutal. Throws Peter through floors.
May makes a valiant effort, stabs Goblin in the neck with a cure.
But it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And Goblin, he retaliates, pins Peter down, and then uses his glider.
To cut May down, it's vicious. He throws a pumpkin bomb. Peter just barely deflects it.
But the damage is done. May is dying.
And her final words to Peter, repeating that mantra. With great power, there must also come great responsibility. It's devastating. It's not just words anymore. It's sealed in her sacrifice.
Her death is the direct result of Peter trying to save the villains. That weight. It's
Right.
unimaginable. His greatest failure, his deepest pain.
It's the ultimate cost of his choice, his responsibility. And as Peter holds her, realizing she's bleeding, crying for help, Happy arrives, only to be arrested by damage control, just utter devastation.
But then, in the depths of that grief, something impossible happens, a glimmer of hope.
Right. Ned, back at his Lola's house with the sling ring. He's trying to find Peter, thinking about him.
And accidentally opens a portal, and out steps another Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's Peter.
And then he tries again, concentrating.
Yeah.
And opened another portal. And brings Tobey Maguire's Peter through.
Lola thinks he's a magician. Ned's response, I am magic now. A tiny bit of levity in this insane situation. 3 Spider-Men.
It's an incredible moment. And what's fascinating is how they instantly connect. They sense each other. The shared jokes about the tingle thing being anonymous.
But it's deeper than that, isn't it? They share the same core trauma. Losing loved ones, Uncle Ben, Gwen Stacy. They understand the rage, the bitterness Peter is feeling right now.
Exactly. And that shared understanding of great power, great responsibility, they all know it. It's like a fundamental truth woven into their being across universes.
How do you know that?
It suggests this archetype, this shared destiny, but also underscores that how they live up to that responsibility is their choice. Seeing them, Peter realizes he's not alone in this.
They're brothers, basically, who get it, who understand the burden.
It gives him and us a path forward from the grief.
So the Spider team assembles. In a high school chemistry lab, no less. Time to get back to work, fix the cures, create new ones.
Teamwork makes the dream work, even across dimensions.
Yeah.
And each Peter brings something unique. Webverse Peter knows how to cure the lizard. He's done it before.
Raimiverse Peter has spent years thinking about Norman Osborn, understanding that dynamic.
They pool their knowledge, their experience. And it's not just about science, it's about empathy, too.
There are some great moments in that lab scene. Ned asking if their best friends died.
And Raimi Peter's heartbreakingly simple. He died in my arms after he tried to kill me.
Oof. Yeah. And Web Peter saying, I always wanted brothers, and admitting he feels lame, only for Raimi Peter to genuinely tell him, you are amazing.
It's building that camaraderie, that support network, and of course the reveal about the organic webbing.
That came out of you. Classic. It highlights their differences, but also their shared core.
It shows that their individual strengths, combined,
Yeah.
make them much stronger.
Okay, cures are ready, time for the final showdown, and Peter makes a really bold move. He goes public again, but on his own terms.
Uses Jameson's own platform, thedailybugle.net, against him.
Right. He broadcasts a message, takes full responsibility, this is all my fault, and tells the villains where to find him. The Statue of Liberty.
Calling it a place that represents second chances. Which is fitting, given his mission to cure them.
Even though the statue itself is ironically covered by that giant Captain America shield, like Cap's symbol is there, but the responsibility falls on Spider-Man.
It's a strategic move, luring them to a contained area away from civilians, taking charge. It shows his growth. He's not just reacting anymore.
He signs off, wish me luck. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man could really use some. You feel the weight on him.
It's a gamble, putting himself out there as bait, but it's a calculated one.
So the final battle, the 3 Spider-Men versus Electro, Sandman, Lizard, and eventually Goblin at the Statue of Liberty.
And they're working together seamlessly. It's not just about fighting, it's about coordination, creating openings to administer the cures.
MJ and Ned are helping remotely, running the box, until Lizard crashes their lab via a portal.
Forcing them to jump through to the statue, right into the thick of it. Brave kids.
Totally. And the cures start working. Sandman becomes Flint Marko again. Doc Ock, already cured, actually helps take down Electro.
Pulls the arc reactor off him, allowing the cure to work. Max Dillon is human again.
And he has that funny line, right? He got a nice face. I just thought he was going to be black.
A surprising moment of reflection amidst the chaos. Dr. Connors gets cured too. It seems like Peter's plan, May's philosophy, it's actually working for most of them.
Redemption. Second chances. It's happening. But then, Goblin.
The final confrontation. He shows up, taunting Peter, twisting the knife about May. You are the one that killed her.
And Peter snaps, just pure rage. He almost kills Goblin with his own glider.
But Raimi vs. Peter stops him. Steps in, takes the blow himself, gets stabbed. He knows where that path of vengeance leads.
That intervention allows Web vs. Peter to toss the Goblin cure, and Peter 1 injects it. Norman Osborn is back, horrified. What have I done?
The final villain is cured. But the bigger problem remains. The sky is tearing open. Strange is struggling to hold back. Figures, Silhouettes.
More visitors. Because the spell is still broken, Peter realizes.
They're coming here because of me, right? Because I'm Peter Parker. It's the only way.
He has to make the ultimate sacrifice. He tells Strange to cast a new spell. Make everyone forget who Peter Parker is. Make everyone forget.
Me. Complete erasure. His identity, his relationships, his entire past. Sacrifice to save the multiverse. It's the ultimate act of responsibility, internalizing May's lesson in the most profound, painful way possible.
It's heartbreaking he has to say goodbye. To MJ, to Ned, promising he'll find them, make them remember.
I'm Jace, I love you.
Look.
Her telling him to wait. Tell her when he sees her again, knowing he won't be able to.
The other Peter say goodbye too. That shared understanding. It's what we do. And then the spell hits. Silence. Everyone forgets Peter Parker.
It explores that profound loneliness of his choice. Peter Parker ceases to exist in the world's memory. But Spider-Man carries on, anonymously.
He finds this strange kind of freedom in it, right? No more endangering loved ones, but totally alone.
We see him later, totally unknown. Jameson doesn't recognize him. He sees MJ and Ned in the donut shop, excited about MIT, no memory of him. He sees the Band-Aid on her head, that tiny remnant.
He visits May's grave. When you help someone, you help everyone.
And he moves into this tiny bare apartment. GD manual, Lego Emperor Palpatine, MJ's coffee cup. Small reminders of a life erased. He's starting completely over.
A new suit swinging through a snowy city. A fresh start born from absolute loss.
It leaves you thinking about the true cost of heroism. This quiet, anonymous dedication. Unseen sacrifice.
Which brings us to our final thought for you, the listener. If the world forgot your greatest achievements, your greatest loves, but you still knew them, would the meaning of your life remain the same?